Today I will cover the dichotomy between the maker versus the user mentality. Concept 1. You cannot be free until you get rid of the user mentality. That is, the addiction to purchasing goods and services that other people have produced and drawing pleasure out of using them up. Concept 2. No one can make money as fast as an idiot can spend it. It's another reason why being a user is unsustainable. It's worse than that. Concept 3 is the mindset that produces and accumulates value. It doesn't have much of an overlap with the mindset that utilizes it. Concept 4, freedom is making more than you spend. Concept 5, wealth is making more than you want to spend. The difference is that making more than you want to spend does not even require you to apply a pressure, to apply discipline or parsimony in your expenditure. You just don't need that much money. So the fact is that if you're the type of person who's not happy until you're spending money, then it will be fantastically difficult to make more than you're able to spend. Therefore, it's clear that you need to tweak your mind, change yourself, to be able to become addicted not to using value, but to creating it. And that is really the only way that you can free yourself from this looming, impending doom of scarcity. Oh my God, how am I going to pay the bill? Oh my God, I can't afford this, I can't afford that, because you want everything and create nothing. How does a person who does not have the maker mentality learn to enjoy it? You know, to learn to do something, all you have to do is read some instructions or watch somebody who's doing it. But to learn to like something, that is something that can only be learned by watching. Has it ever happened to you that you didn't like something or weren't terribly interested in it, but then you started looking at and listening to somebody who did like it, and all of a sudden the way in which this thing is feeling like to them, which you can potentially also feel that way, appeared to you? For me, it happened at one point in my life when I thought that business was this horrendously boring and risky thing that I wasn't interested in doing in the least. And I met a person who actually explained to me, no, it's like an RPG, it's like a role-playing game. I see it like a strategy game, he said. You position all your pawns and keep making strategic moves. And then things start happening, and when they start happening, it's like you're winning not a game in the computer, but in the real world. So it feels much better. It's enormously addictive. And just by this explanation, but also mixed with just hearing him speak and his tone of voice and knowing him as a person, I was able to internalize that, and really things have changed drastically for me since then. So if you want to pass on to enjoying a different kind of thing, especially in the case of user versus maker mentality, in which these things are really polar opposites, one thing you can do is just listen to people who like the maker mentality and try to model them. Learn how it is like for them to like it. For some people it's difficult because they're born in a ghetto, and really most of the world is a ghetto. I'm not even talking about poor neighborhoods. I'm talking about environments in which everybody's a user. That's a ghetto. I don't care how much money these people get paid per month. They're stuck in safety and consumption mode. So for all practical purposes, they're ghettos, not ghettos of well-being, because maybe some of these people have enough money to live relatively well, but they're ghettos of self-development, where people don't self-develop, where no one has self-development, no one grows, that type of ghetto. So now you're listening to these lessons, so that's good. That's a very good beginning. The other thing is just exposure. If you expose yourself to a type of pleasure for long enough, eventually you will cultivate an addiction to it. Because really the human mind gets addicted to nearly everything that provides even just a little bit of pleasure. The third way is a kind of psychological device. You have to see this maker versus user mentality is not as the shopkeeper and the buyer. Because of course you always want to be the buyer. You don't want to be the shopkeeper behind the counter, wasting away his life, handling boxes. You want to be the guy that gets the PlayStation, takes it home, and is having fun with it, right? Or you don't want to be the guy who works at the beach renting out the water skis. You want to be the guy that's riding, what do you call it? Terribly noisy, devilish thing. It's not water ski, water jet ski. Fuck, I don't even know. Okay, just scratch that. Anyway, you want to think about it not like shopkeeper versus buyer paradigm. You want to think about it as the person who's at the center of the stage versus the person that's watching the show. People today are trained overwhelmingly to be bystanders, to be passive watchers, to be users. And you know, TV is a prime example of that, where there are a handful of famous people that are always at the center of attention, and everyone else is just sitting at home with the remote control and watching them.
This is the moment that I've all been waiting for a long time. My hand pan is about to arrive. Is this it?
This is not the way it used to be in ancestral times, when people entertained one another. So there might have been the guy who was funny, there might have been the guy who was a good warrior and could show off his prowess hunting prey, and everybody had something to show to others. Well, nearly everybody. So the way you want to see this is the person who's buying is really watching a movie, and the person who's selling is creating a movie for that person. And you know, this might sound terribly contrived if you think about regular products, that is commodities, that is things that are sold by impersonal corporations. Think about, I don't know, notebook. You're surely not a star for making this fucking notebook. But I'm talking about products where you can actually surprise your user, where your product and purchasing it allows the person to enter a new kind of environment, a new kind of experience, just like the toilet paper experience that I gave in my Will They Buy My Shit video. If you can create an experience around your product, an immersive experience that makes this person feel like something, then now you're in show business. Now it doesn't matter what the fuck you sell. The example that I gave of the toilet paper was extreme because it was meant to convey the fact that even if you're selling the most trivial product in the world, the most commoditized product in the world that is sold nearly everywhere, you can still make it into showbiz and be in a position where you're selling your passion, you're selling an experience, you're in entertainment, you're selling a ticket to your show. Now, a whole different level of that is when you see people writing reviews online. And most reviews are negative because people tend to want to talk about things they didn't like, so they're full of reviews about people who run their business like shit. But there's the other side. When you actually exceed the expectations of your client.
Dude, it's even better than I thought.
It goes back a little bit to you can't earn what you're worth. You got to give more than the person has paid. When you exceed their expectations and you give them a really great time and they go online and they say, oh my God, I can't believe this company is so fantastic. They pick up the phone in 5 minutes. They solved all my problems. It's a masterpiece of engineering. The amount of care and effort that went into this is just superior to anything I've tried. I'm used to getting these kinds of reviews for the things that I do. And I tell you, you're in show business. People know about you. People respect you. So this is the last final way in which I hope to motivate you and just give you a brief tip to allow you to reconceptualize this dichotomy of being the maker versus being the user, as, you know, the user doesn't matter. The user is the guy that's watching. And most of us are going to be users most of the time. But you're going to have one area of your life in which you're the show. Who doesn't want to be the show? So be the fucking show, man. And if this video has been useful to you at all, or you think your grandma could potentially find it useful, don't hesitate. Click on the subscribe button, reshare, subscribe, link, rip it off, and put your face in the corner. Whatever the fuck you need to do. Two most important things. Tattoo it on your vagina and go in peace. Peace.